Hi, Anant. I'm doing a screen recording. It looks like that's going to be the best way to go to give you feedback. So hopefully you can get this. First of all, I think of all of the things that I've seen here, the idea that seems to be the most interesting and innovative and solid is this first one. And I just want to give you some feedback about just the big ideas first and any questions that I have. So it seems to me that there's two things going on with this one, and you really addressed the one issue, but there's a supplemental issue that you're not addressing that could pose a problem for your idea. You are addressing the idea of how to reduce food waste in that entire dishes would not be thrown away through this vertical distribution process with the new trolley. And I get that, and I think that's really cool. You might want to make it clear, the thing that came to my mind was, will the dishes that are underneath in this pile or this stack, are the ones towards the bottom going to be squished? Or do you have a way for them to not be squished in the process? That's a little unclear. The second thing that I worried about or thought about was actually the distribution of the leftover food that was not used. So because they don't know how many desserts are going to be left over, not thrown away, right? You're saying that when they get to a destination city, that can be given away. So there's a whole slew of things that go along with that. Is that part of what the Novo Green would take care of? Are you going to address that issue? Because that would definitely be an issue for the airlines. How does that food actually get from the plane to those people who need it in that city? So that would be the practicality, I think, there. The piece itself, I think the writing is quite clear overall. I feel like you need some paragraphs in here to break it up into kind of the big idea, your thesis statement that's going to be that needs to be quite clear. For example, I think you should add passengers' orders. Thus, no, before that. Novo Green is a social enterprise that aims to address this issue of food waste by designing a more efficient in-flight food trolley that will, do something. So that part, I think, is the things that I would take a look at. Reason for being passionate. It looks like you're still working on that, but not getting rid of the food waste is good. So that one I thought was the best one. Now the next one, just the big idea here, Food for Hope is trying to bring in a innovative restaurant business model. And I'm going to pause this for just a second. No, I guess I can't pause it. Let's see. You're targeting the unemployed, estranged refugees, recently released convicts who struggle to re-enter the workforce, individuals or other marginalized groups. And you want to give them skills in cooking, and then let's see other things. Somehow they're getting hand-me-down ingredients to work with. They're going to cook things, and then hopefully that's going to get them employment in the future. And there will be some sort of meal distribution to whomever, I suppose the needy. This one I felt like it had more holes in it because the first thing that came to my mind was there's a pretty vast assumption that the people coming in who are estranged or marginalized are unskilled, and that they, the best that they could do was learn how to cook something with leftover food. Um, so that seemed a little odd. So maybe the target group needs to be rethought a little bit. Also, I wasn't quite sure why they needed you know, the sort of leftover food to work with. I was unclear about where they would be. Where would these places be where they're going to learn their cooking skills? There's going to be a lot of money involved in that. Are we renting places throughout the city? How do the people know about it? Um, so the writing of this seems like it's got more holes in just thinking through step by step how to make that work, who the target is, and what the meaning is of that. I think there's a lot of things that need to be taken care of yet, and also I think the whole thing would benefit from, again, some paragraphing to just sort of compartmentalize ideas and develop them. The reason for being passionate seems rather lengthy here. And maybe not quite as practical as it could be. Again, by empowering the poor and equipping them with marketable skills, a wealth of opportunities are opened up. There's sort of this assumption that because you're poor, you don't have marketable skills. That could be totally off base. So, be careful of those assumptions. All right, then the aging population idea, the same thing. This one felt to me maybe even less developed than the others. The idea is to give them something to do, to feel part of the community through practicing some cooking skills through these potlucks and then sharing them with someone. That seemed pretty loose, and again, I felt like there were assumptions. Some of the best cooks might be the elderly, especially the women who've been cooking their whole lives. So do they really need to be taught how to cook? Or is there something else going on here? Just the idea of being able to cook what they know and sharing that, or maybe passing down their knowledge of cooking to the next generation or to themselves. Could there be a partnership, for example, between the elderly and the school system so that they could be hooked up with a community that's already created and that they could bring in their skills? I'm not sure. But the potluck idea just sounds very loose right now, and I'm not quite sure, that you're really working on a need that the people have through this cooking thing. Also, just the wording of this is much looser, not quite as professional as the other two, and especially the first one seemed much more tight and clear in its idea and the needs and all of that. So this one seems to be, we want to feel a definite, intends for the elderly to feel definite, fulfilling sense of belonging in society, and ultimately a personal sense of achievement and belonging. That is certainly something that we would like to see. Are these elderly people coming from, where are they coming from? Are they coming from home situation where they're living at home? Are they alone? Are they in an elderly home? How old are they? Can they walk? Are they in wheelchairs? Does it not matter? Do they have the skills and the dexterity to cook anymore? Who is elderly and how are you defining that? So that part seemed very, very loose to me, and like it needs to be better defined to begin with, the whole idea. So anyway, of the three ideas, the one that really stands out as being quite strong is the very first one. It's very innovative. The others, the ideas themselves, I think, need better development before your Sunday night deadline, and then after the ideas themselves are developed, then just the wording of it will come, or look at that afterwards. And if I'm around, I can try to help you with that. I'll see if I can get this screen recording somehow sent to you. I'm not sure. I'll see what I can do here. Bye-bye. Hope this helps.